Welcome back. This is Tuesday lunchtime. The Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane has a case to answer on counts of misconduct and incompetence. That is the blunt recommendation of a panel of 3 independent experts to Parliament. It's now up to the National Legislature to run with it. But here's the question, will it? Here now from the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution, Lawson Naidoo, good afternoon to you and welcome. One suspects it's going to be a long, drawn-out process now with much political manoeuvring.
Good afternoon, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Well, I hope it's not going to be a long, drawn-out process. There will certainly be political manoeuvring in the background, undoubtedly, given that this is a process that will play out in Parliament, in the National Assembly, and through an ad hoc committee that will be established. But having had sight of the report of the independent panel, they've made very damning findings against Ms. Mkhwebane in their report, finding a pattern of conduct that proves that there has been misconduct, that shows the level of her incompetence. There's a repeated incorrect application and understanding of the law, the mandate of the Office of the Public Protector, and the overall scheme of the Constitution and the powers of different institutions. So whilst the independent panel was only required to make an assessment as to whether prima facie evidence existed, a proper reading of the report would suggest that they have found much, much more than mere prima facie evidence, and that there is substantial evidence against Ms. Mkhwebane, and she has chosen in her response and in her submissions to the panel not to challenge or deal with those substantive issues, but she focuses really on jurisdictional issues, procedural matters, all of the issues that she has raised in court and which have been dismissed by the court. So I think Ms. Mkhwebane is now skating on very thin ice.
How does the ad hoc committee start approaching this?
Well, the first process now is that the report of the panel will have to be tabled in the National Assembly. The Assembly will have to take a decision to establish such an ad hoc committee with a simple majority of the members of the National Assembly. And once that committee is established, it would determine the process of how it's going to conduct that inquiry. I think it's probably likely that they will appoint an evidence leader to assist and guide them through the process. They will have sight of written submissions, the submissions that the panel has already reviewed, as well as hearing oral testimony from the complainant in this matter, Ms. Natasha Mazone from the DA, as well as oral evidence from Ms. Mkhwebane, should she wish to do so. The committee may also call other witnesses with knowledge of the conduct or the misconduct of Ms. Mkhwebane to also give evidence.
There's no timeline on this, is there?
There is no timeline, except that the rules, I think, say that the matter should be dealt with within a reasonable time frame. And I think, given the urgency of the matter, the fact that it has already been dragged out for so long, this latest complaint was lodged in February of last year, so just over a year ago, and it's taken a long time for that panel to be established. And they had to seek an extension to process the submissions because they were voluminous in nature, over 10,000 pages of submissions that the panel had to work through. But one hopes that Parliament will now see the urgency of this matter in the interests of Parliament, of the Office of the Public Protector, and I would argue also in the interests of Ms. Mkhwebane herself, to have this matter resolved as speedily as possible.
Inevitably, Lawson Naidoo, and this is a final question to you, is this going to impact on the vital work that the Office of the Public Protector does? Surely it must.
Well, and that's why it is of utmost importance that the matter be resolved speedily, so that the Office of the Public Protector, a key constitutional institution, can have public confidence in it restored, and that it can begin to function properly in terms of its constitutional mandate and not be led astray by the whims of Ms. Mkhwebane, as has happened over the last few years.